I think the reason I'm speaking up now is because this can't be an accident. It can't be a coincidence that I studied TBI in graduate school and then my husband had a blast-related TBI. It can't be coincidence that for the past years I've been studying and publishing on soldier suicide, and then 3 weeks after I published my initial findings, Michael committed suicide.
So while you were studying traumatic brain injuries, you saw this in your husband. What can you say about what you witnessed in him and the effect that this traumatic brain injury had on his life?
The way that eventually I encapsulated was that his physical body came back from Iraq, but he didn't. So a lot of personality changes, sleep disturbances, there were headaches. So yeah, that is a component of it. A lot of trouble sleeping, unexplained irritability, some paranoia at that point that got progressively worse.
I heard that they had headaches and a couple of other things, but I would say, and I can report, it is not very serious.
So you don't consider potential traumatic brain injury serious?
They told me about it numerous days later. You'd have to ask Department of Defense. No, I don't consider them very serious injuries relative to other injuries that I've seen.
So what goes through your mind when you hear comments like that coming from the President of the United States?
Whenever you have someone, the head of the executive branch, the most powerful person in the world, denigrating a combat injury that has really serious implications, it sends a message to legislators who appropriate money for that. And treating traumatic brain injury, especially in the military, takes money. Researching it takes money. And if you have the head of the executive branch saying that they're just headaches, then I think the funding becomes, it puts the funding in jeopardy. But what about the families whose loved ones were injured? How must they be feeling? You know, my children heard that. They heard that on the news. They knew that their dad had a TBI. They know that it's not just headaches. And so from a scientific perspective, I'm worried about attention being lost. From a personal perspective, those are really unkind words to hear. If it's an American issue, then it's a NATO partner issue, then it's a worldwide military issue, because explosions don't discriminate. And you know, Canada has had service member suicide issues as well. And I think bringing attention to the American side of it brings attention to the Canadian side of it. Michael didn't die right away. So there was a whole night in the ICU. He was not conscious and he was intubated, and you know, they were keeping him alive so that we could get there and say goodbye, and so his organs could be donated in the morning. But that was a really long night. So, but I'm glad that I had it, because I think it would be a very different experience if I had not been able to say goodbye to him. You know, and I'm a nurse, so I was able to shampoo his hair and get him ready to go.
I'm so sorry. How is Michael remembered? What can you say about him, what kind of person he was?
Very funny, loved his girls, and smart, very, very good at his job. I think he would be really, really supportive of me pushing back on an injury that I can't say this as a scientist, but as a spouse and as a clinician, I'm pretty sure that's what killed him. So I think he would have really enjoyed watching me push back on some of the political comments. And you know, he liked fighters, and he was a fighter. So I think he would appreciate me stepping up.